What's up with who? I got a special guest today right here. You want to introduce yourself for the people who don't know, the Smoothie King. How you feeling today, brother?
Oh man, I can't complain, man. If you haven't subscribed to the Rise Podcast on my people's channel, do so please on the way into the comments.
Y'all hear that? Go straight to the page.
Humble. You know
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean?
That's why I love talking to you, man. Your energy, man. I can feel it every time I'm around you.
It's real.
Yeah,
It's
sure enough, sure enough.
You got been through something, you know where you going.
Man.
If you ain't been through nothing, you'll never know where you going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you got of value, is no value without no sense of direction. That's what makes it value. A sense of direction. Yeah.
We turn this conversation into something much bigger.
Yeah. Come on in, Dad. Yeah.
But you know, we gonna talk boxing. We're gonna pivot into boxing.
Let's go.
All right, man. First off, man, we got somebody that come out of this gym by the name of Mia Killer B. Ellis, and she just won a fight. What did you think when you found out that her arm? Were you there at the fight?
No, I watched.
Okay, what did you think when you found out her arm or her shoulder came out? Please.
She was nasty. Yes, Mia was disrespectful. Very nasty. See, what I saw it, cause I seen it pop before. And
In training camp?
yeah.
Okay.
And
So this is something that happens periodically or often?
no, but it was very rare, like a steak.
Okay.
You know what I mean? However you like your steak, blood dripping, that's your business. I don't eat it. But rare. But I've seen her. She was so determined, and she was saying, "I die in this ring today. I'm not taking no L." The refs say if the doctor get up on the ring post, they gonna stop. And it would have been a KO for the other young lady. And Mia say she wasn't having that. So she gutted it out.
And Coach Calvin also took the initiative and made sure she was going to finish that fight by doing whatever he had to do. I didn't know if he got it in place or what, but he did what he could.
Yeah. And Calvin and them, if you watch the fight, you seen them in the corner, like pulling his arm, pulling her arm, trying to get it right back in place. I ain't gonna tell you who advised them because that's a little secret repping down the road for Mia, but she will get the shoulder worked on and she gonna be just fine.
That's great. That's great to hear. What did you think about her opponent? Was she one of her better opponents that she faced, or was she somebody just like everybody else? Or what did you think about her opponent?
No, the young lady, her record wasn't pretty,
Right.
but she was tougher
Yeah, she
than
was
what her
tough.
record said it was. You know, arguably, by her not having no promoter, no manager, we could sit back and study her film. Probably out of the 30-something fights that she lost, we probably arguably could take 15 of them back easily by her being her own promoter, nobody in her corner, her own coach, her own trainer. So, you know, but she was tough, you know what I mean?
She was.
She saying nobody never get me out there. She came on the podcast, we opened the invitation. But make a long story short, she was tough, she was awkward, and when you fighting a fighter like that, cause though you could get clipped, you know what I mean? It punches, not your traditional straight punches.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She was straight head down.
Head down, you know what I mean? Swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
But she was tough. She was tough. That ain't me at best though.
Okay.
Tough wise, top 3.
So do you think it added some experience to Mia's game?
Far as in what aspect?
Just in general, do you think that opponent helped catapult her up some to try to get a better opponent in the future?
Yes, always a stepping stone. But the object of this fight for me, because she been out of the ring for about a year, was to put on a spectacular performance. So
she looked
this
good.
could open the door for a bigger payday and a bigger fight.
Okay.
So this was a big fight for me, even though it wasn't a big name opponent.
Okay. All right, let's get to the fatal. No, before the fatal four. What did you think about the Conor Ben Chris Eubanks fight?
A barn burner. A barn burner. one for the books, one for the ages. I don't think the decision was a fair decision far as how wide the decision was. I didn't see it as being a unanimous decision. Conor Ben made a good account of himself coming up 2-3 weight classes. Could this be glimpses of Canelo and Bud? Is this glimpses of Canelo
I like how you
and
put
Bud?
that. Yeah, that's.
Huh? Is this
And for him to be the smaller man, he was dominating Chris Eubanks in them earlier rounds.
Yeah, but not making no excuses. It's the fight game. Eubanks dead, almost kill himself to make the weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know how his strength bounced back or whatever, but he dug in. This was a grudge match. This was a hell of a build-up. So he dug in and did what he had to do.
Okay. What did you think about the Tio Martinez fight? No, not Martinez. I can't even think of the guy that Tio fought, but what did you think about that fight?
The Tino Martinez fight.
What's his name, Martinez? I know Devin fought Martinez.
Oh, Ramirez. Jose
So his
Ramirez.
name was Martinez. Then.
Ramirez.
Tio fought Martinez.
Tio fought Barbosa.
Oh, Barbosa, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Barbosa.
All right.
Yeah, Tio fought Barbosa.
What did you think of that fight?
Barbosa ain't let his hands go like he normally do. I don't know if it was just the venue, the crowd, the place he was fighting at. I don't know. They was inside. Coach, what's going on, Coach? They was inside.
How you doing?
They was inside the fence in downtown Times Square. So I don't know if that played a part in Barbosa not opening up. But T.O. ain't a big fan of him. But he did what he had to do. I think he should have got that guy out of there, though.
And this is what and speaking of Martinez and Barbosa, this is what I don't understand with a lot of boxers. When you've lost 8 rounds straight, or you know you're down to the point, no matter how many rounds you win from this point on, you're not going to win the fight. Why does they don't change the game plan? Why do they continue to come out fighting the same way the whole fight?
Because that they don't have another gear. You know what I mean? It was like a 10-speed bike when we was going coming up. Some of the kids couldn't afford the one with the gears, and then there only one gear worked.
Right.
I got on a guy bike, it was the hard gear, and I couldn't pedal it.
Right.
Yo was like, I only got one gear, you want to ride it?
Okay.
And I jumped right off it because
Okay.
I couldn't switch the gears. In boxing, you got to be able to switch gears.
Okay. So what did you think about, what's up, Coach? What did you think about the Devin Haney Ramirez fight?
Garbage.
Let me ask you this before you continue also. Because I'm kind of stuck in between the two. I feel like I'm in between the savant and casual. I feel like I'm right here. And with that being said, looking at what Devin did, I say, damn, it was a good game plan. But at the same token, as a casual, I don't want to see that. So it's like, is that considered a game plan or is it considered running?
To keep it a buck though, I'ma say it like this and make it quick. For Devin, coming off of the Ryan Garcia debacle, him getting pushed around like that. I understand the name of the sport is hit and don't be hit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that he should have initiated a little bit more on the in and out when he was boxing. He boxed too much. You know what I mean? To the numbers was like the lowest numbers.
He was 5 off from making a record with Shakur.
Yeah, but Ramirez's job was to cut the ring off, which he didn't do.
Right.
So I blame both of them. You know what I mean? Ramirez was on his way out. You know what I'm saying? So
the same thing happened in the Canelo fight. where Skull was doing the same thing that Devin did, but the outcome was different. Canelo won, but they say he won by a split hair. So, is that considered a game plan?
Actually, Canelo looked at a little slow that fight.
Right, because he wasn't cutting the ring off either.
Cutting the ring off. I guess that was like a warm-up fight for the Bud Crawford fight. You know what I mean? So he able to, I would say, he able to cruise, do fights like that, you know, because of the experience, do just enough. But Skull didn't engage, because Canelo would have broke that body down. So he was smart enough to stay away.
And Canelo was throwing one punch at a time.
I know, yeah. And like I say, it was a cruise do fight, just to stay busy, a bag, money grab. You know what I mean? I don't mind a guy boxing, right, using the ring, but I like to see him at least doing punches in between it. Sugar Ray Leonard-ish, Coach Hunt, Sugar Ray Leonard.
What's up, Coach?
And Roy Jones-ish,
so
Sweet Pea-ish.
Would you consider that? Because those guys were still, you know, within arm reach. Would you consider? That's what I'm saying. Would you consider what Devin did a game plan?
Yeah.
Is that a way to fight?
Yes.
Okay, so you
that was a game plan for him, not for the people.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And he wanted to be cautious. You know, we wanted to see Devin get touched a little bit to see
if he could take it.
Right. PTSD.
Right.
You know
but his game plan looked like he had PTSD. Whenever Ramirez got any type of contact on him, he was gone, out of there. And he looked very fidgety.
I don't know if he can sustain that at 47. He looked like in tremendous shape.
Yeah, he did.
You know
he always looked in tremendous shape.
In tremendous shape. Devin always comes in.
He always looked good.
In tremendous shape.
Yeah.
You know, and I be excited because I'm like, maybe he gonna show me something this fight. You know, but nevertheless, I wish the best for him. You know
I mean, as a person, like I said, who's in that middle, I think he did a great job. He came out unscathed and he won the fight. And at the end of the day, that's what they say matter, winning. Entertaining, that's another thing.
Did it raise his stock up? No.
Did it lower it?
No.
Did it lower his stock?
Yes, marketability wise.
Okay.
He's hurting himself with that style.
Okay. But that's the first time he fought like that.
People need more out of him than that.
Right.
Everybody was like waiting at a weighted return for him to see if he was going to give us something
different.
Because Ramirez wasn't on Osterone. You know what I mean? So, you know, nevertheless.
What did you think about the Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero?
I was glad I picked Rolly. Yeah, I don't like nothing about Ryan. I think Ryan a model. He should stick to modeling. I never really took Ryan serious. You know what I mean? He got some boxing skill, average, C+ fighter to me. You know what I mean? He'll beat the average MF. You know what I mean? But serious dudes that really love the sport and all that, he ain't really, cause his heart ain't always in it. You know what I mean? Rolly, win, lose, or draw, Rolly gonna give it his all.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Rolly looked spectacular.
And he looked as big as a motherfucker too.
He looked spectacular.
Yeah, he did look real good. The one thing I noticed about Ryan compared to that Devin fight, maybe he was on more substances than we think, because he was hyped for that. The whole build up to that Devin fight, he was bouncing off the walls. And this fight, he was calm, cool, and collect the whole way up. Maybe it makes me think the substances were more than what we may have known initially.
I think that
because they call it roid rage.
Really hyped him up. That was more so attacks on his father. Because his father do a lot of that. You know,
Bill. Bill. Okay.
Yeah. So man, I thought that was more so attack on his father.
Okay. One last question, maybe two, but Turki Alalshikh, do you think he's great for boxing and what he's doing as far as paying these guys good, so all they got to do is worry about training and fighting? What do you think about Turki?
I love it. You know why? Because he's giving people opportunities to put food on the table, Whether you like how he doing or what he doing, we go to work 9 to 5, doing the same thing. These guys got to take care of their families. I'm all for it. All right?
And there you have it. Thank you, Smoothie King, man. I greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome,
Giving
champ.
me your time. You have a good one.
Sure, you going